Hello students, this is Nitin Mohod, and through this video we are going to learn about DTL and TTL logic families. In short, it is diode transistor logic and transistor logic families. So first of all we will see DTL logic, that is diode transistor logic. It mainly uses diodes as you can see here in the diagram, then transistors Q1 and Q2 and resistors R1, R2, R3 and RL. So this is one of the way of showing the DTL logic. There are many ways in which this logic circuit can be shown. Now we will move on to the working of this circuit diagram. So here A and B are treated as an input while Y is treated as an output. So the first condition is when A equal to 0 or B is equal to 0, means either of A and B, one of the input is 0 and naturally the other input is high, the current will start flowing from VCC and it will flow through R1, then R2 and either through D1 or through D2 depending on whether A is connected to 0 or B is connected to 0. This A and B are connected to 0, it means they are connected to ground. And when this current flows like this through R1, R2 and then either through D1 or through D2, the potential drop across the diode will be 0.7 volt if we consider it as a semiconductor diode, which is also the base voltage for this transistor Q1. This voltage, that is 0.7 volt at the base of Q1, is not enough for Q1 to conduct, since Q1, D3 and Q2 they are in series, and therefore minimum voltage required between point N and ground is 0.7 here, 0.7 for diode and 0.7 for Q2, that is 0.7 multiplied by 3, that is equal to 2.1 volts. While we are getting in the first two conditions rather, when A is 0, B is 1, or when A is 1 and B is 0, in either of the condition we are getting only 0.7 volts at the base of Q1, and therefore neither Q1 conducts nor Q2 conducts, and since both these transistors are off, all the VCC voltage you will get at the output Y, and therefore Y will be equal to 1. So for the conditions A equal to 0, B equal to 1, A equal to 1 and B equal to 0, for both these conditions output will be equal to 1. Also for A equal to 0 and B equal to 0, means when both the inputs are 0, the same condition will appear, that current will flow like this through R1, R2 and through both the diodes, because now both the inputs are connected to ground, and therefore neither Q1 conducts nor Q2 conducts, and all the VCC appears across Y, and therefore output will be high. Moving on to the last condition, so far two inputs are concerned, because two input means there are four conditions. We have seen three up till now. Now this is the last condition, when A is equal to 1 and B is also equal to 1. Under this stage, diode D1 gets reverse bias and hence does not conduct. Let potential at D2 be slowly increasing from 0 volt onwards. The moment the potential at B reaches 1.4 volts between point N and ground, the voltage will be equal to 1.4 plus 0.7 across the diode, that gives 2.1 volts, which is just sufficient to force Q1, D3 and Q2 to conduct. Thus Q2 goes in saturation, and when Q2 goes in saturation, not only the current will flow through this Q1 to ground, while the current will also flow through Q2 and to ground, and thus the output voltage which is taken at the collector of Q2, here you will get very less voltage, or it will be treated as a output 0. Hence, for A equal to B equal to 1 means both the inputs equal to 1, Y equals to 0 volts. We have now seen the DTL logic, that is diode transistor logic. From the shown combination of input and output voltages, here we have shown it as a truth table. The given DTL logic follows. Now A when 0 and B was also 0 means 0 0, then A0 B1 A1 B0. For all the three conditions the output was 1, while for the condition A equal to B equal to 1 the output was 0. So here if you closely observe this truth table, then you will come to know that this DTL logic follows positive NAND logic, while if you consider the negative NOR logic, you will get the same truth table for it. So both these logics are followed by this DTL logic family. Specification of DTL IC are as follows. The power supply, such type of IC requires is VCC equal to plus 5 volts. The power dissipation PD is equal to 60 milliwatts. Propagation delay, that is TD, equals to 30 nanoseconds. Noise immunity equals to 0.7 volts, while the fan out equals to 8. Then moving on to the next logic, that is transistor logic, which is also called as TTL or T square L logic. TTL ICs are designed to operate from plus 5 volt DC power supply with variation of plus minus 0.5 volts. The meaning is very simple. 5 volts plus 0.5 volt or 5 volt minus 0.5 volt. This will be the voltage range in which these TTL ICs can work. But beyond these levels, the device fails to work. Basic TTL circuit works very similar to DTL gate, where Q1 is a multiple emitter transistor. This concept is new, but it will be clear from the further discussion which we are going to do here. So it's a multiple emitter transistor with each emitter working like input diode, and it may be treated as D1 or D2. Concept of multiple emitter transistor is explained with how a 2 diode AND gate and an inverter can be treated equivalent to 3 emitter transistor. So you can see here diagrammatically we have shown the multi-emitter transistor concept. So here 2 diode and an inverter circuit shown like this, and here in the dotted portion we have taken out this dotted portion and we have changed this diagram to this diagram, where 2 diodes are very close to the base region of the transistor and this resistor is taken connected here. Now this diagram is further modified, and then these diodes are treated as the base emitter junction diodes like this. So here E1, E2 and E3 existing emitter, and this second emitter and the third emitter. So this transistor will have 3 emitters, collector as it is, and this resistor which we have connected to VCC, that we have connected to the base terminal and connected to VCC through resistor R. And finally this diagram is converted into this multi-emitter transistor. So in short, this is the multi-emitter transistor, and here one thing is very new, that is the doping percentage of base and emitter region, that is same. So that is only the difference here which is maintained for the transistor to work in inverse mode. We will see it that how it works in inverse mode. Now operation of TTL logic circuit. So here we have shown the TTL logic circuit with 2 inputs A and B, which are given to the input emitter 1 and emitter 2 for the transistor Q1, and output is taken at the collector of Q4. So here we will consider this: if Q2 conducts, this Q2 transistor conducts, the possible current path is through R1, then collector base junction of Q1 and the emitter base junction of Q2. Thus minimum voltage required at the base of Q1 will be 0.7 here and 0.7 here, that is 1.4 volts. Now we will move on to the conditions, that when A equals to B equals to 0 means when both the inputs are 0, both the emitters get grounded and the current flows through R1 like this and base emitter junction of the Q1. Base of Q1 becomes 0.7 volts, but for transistor Q2 to turn on, the base voltage required at Q1 should be 0.7 plus 0.7, that is 1.4 volts. Thus Q2 remains off. Hence the collector voltage of Q2 will be high because Q2 is off. Therefore all the VCC will appear here, and which is nothing but the base voltage for Q3. So hence Q3 conducts and goes to saturation, while Q4 remains off because this Q2 is off. Since there is no current through this base emitter junction of Q2, there will be no voltage drop across R4 and therefore no voltage at the base of the Q4. So Q4 will be off. So Q3 will be in saturation and Q4 will be off, and therefore output Y equals to 1. Moving on to the next conditions, when A equal to 1 and B equal to 0, or A equal to 0 and B equal to 1. During both these conditions, the voltage at the base of Q1 is equal to 0.7 volt, as we have seen in the first condition. Thus, Q2 will not conduct or will remain off. Naturally, Q2 remain off means Q4 will also remain off, and Q3 will goes in saturation, as we have seen in the previous condition, and therefore output Y equals to 1. When A equals to B equals to 1, both emitters are at VCC and the both BE junctions gets reverse bias. Hence Q1 gets off. But as the base is still at VCC because it is directly connected to VCC through this R1, the base collector junction of transistor Q1 becomes forward bias and conducts. Q1 operates here in an inverse mode. Just now we have talked of inverse mode. And what is this inverse mode? And is done maintaining the doping concentration in emitter and base region same. Q1 conduction provides base current to the Q2. Thus VC2 goes low, means at this point at the collector of Q2 the voltage will be low, and Q3 goes off because this is low, this is connected to the base of Q3, so Q3 will be off, while Q4 will conduct. Why it will conduct? Because Q2 is conducting, the current is flowing through Q2 like this and like this also, and due to this current the voltage will drop across R4. This voltage will be responsible for making this transistor Q4 on, and thus VC4, which is the output of Y, becomes low because this Q3 is off. Here the diode D1 is included for the biasing purpose. We will see that how this diode is working here or working here as for the biasing purpose. Now whenever Q2 goes in saturation, sufficiently large voltage drop across R4, this R4 resistor, which compels Q4 to go in saturation. Thus VC2 will be at VC2, that is this voltage will be at 0.2 volts plus 0.7 volts. See, 0.7 volts from VBE4. So VBE4 is the voltage existing between these two terminals, and 0.2 is the saturation voltage here. So this is 0.2 plus 0.7, that is 0.9 volt. In absence of D1, means if D1 is not there, minimum voltage at the base of Q3 required for conduction will be 0.2, that is VCE4. VCE4 means collector to emitter voltage of the transistor 4. So this voltage. So 0.2 volts which is existing at VCE4 plus 0.7 volts at VBE3. So here 0.7 volt, that is equal to 0.9 volt. Thus when Q2 and Q4 goes into saturation, means this Q2 and this Q4 goes into saturation, Q3 also goes in saturation if diode D1 is not there. But since diode D1 is there, which needs additional 0.7 volts to conduct, transistor Q3 remains off under present biasing. And this such type of arrangement is called as totem pole arrangement, and this output under this situation is called as a totem pole output. In a totem pole output, one of the transistors should always remain off, and this is the condition to be maintained for totem pole. TTL logic is basically a NAND gate for positive logic and NOR gate for negative logic, as we have seen in case of DTL logic. It is the fastest of all saturated logic systems because of the gain of Q1. Gain of the transistor means output divided by input ratio. Specifications of TTL ICs are as follows. Power supply, that is plus VCC, equals to plus 5 volts. Power dissipation, PD, equals to 100 milliwatts. Propagation delay, that is the switching speed of the circuit, is 10 nanoseconds. Noise immunity is 0.4 volts, and fan out equals to 10. So I hope the DTL logic circuit and the TTL logic circuit, their characteristics and working which we have studied in this video, are clear to you. Thank you.